Hey everybody, welcome to English 1001. I am Valerie Malott and I will be your tour guide for this wild ride for the next 7 weeks. Hopefully you have taken a minute, well, 10 minutes to watch my introductory video so you know a little bit about me. For now, I am just going to walk you through and do a little bit of a course overview. Actually, we'll start on the home page. If you get to the home page, you'll see that at the very top, we have recent announcements. So you will see the top 3 most recent announcements at the home page should you miss out on announcements. You can always come over to the announcements link and look through the list of announcements. They will pile up pretty quickly because I do like to send out announcements and just to keep in touch with everybody throughout the weekly modules. So back to the home page. Here's me. This is all my information. I do hold virtual office hours on Wednesday mornings from 9 to 10:30 via Zoom. However, I am also available for appointments. I teach at Cincinnati State on Tuesday and Wednesday evenings, so I'm not available Tuesday and Wednesday evenings, but all of my teaching for UC Claremont and UC is just asynchronous, so I am pretty available during the day and even in the evening hours should you need to work around a work schedule or something like that. I am available. I just need 24 hours notice. So the best way to do that is just to contact me through email. And if you don't hear from me within 24 hours, that means I either didn't get it or whatever. And you can follow up with a text. This is my cell phone number, 513-266-4308. Again, that is really something that should I fail to get back in touch with you within 24 hours during the weekdays, you can shoot me a text and say, hey, I sent you an email. And, if you need me right away, you can text me, but try to hold off doing that and use email as your main form of communication with me. It's important to spell my last name correctly. It's MALOTT. vj@ucmail.uc.edu. So it's 1 L and 2 T's. If you do it the other way around, or if you put 2 L's and 2 T's, it's not going to get to me. So it's very important to have that in correctly. And I would say try to save me in your email program so that you can access me. Another thing that I want to call your attention to is sometimes students will try to contact me through the Canvas course site. There is a way to do that. I'm not exactly sure how you guys do that, but I don't check my inbox in Canvas on a regular basis. I check my email quite frequently because I do have email access on my phone. So, if I'm away from the home, I'm away from my computer, I still have access to my email. So email, if I don't get back to you within 24 hours during the workday, weekdays, then you can shoot me a quick text. On the weekends, it usually will take me a little bit longer to get back to you, not always, but a little bit longer to get back to you. And that's just because, I have a family and I have things to do on the weekends. There will be this is my space holder for this video that I'm currently recording. So you'll see that here when you actually begin watching the video. So let's hop over to the syllabus. We'll click over here and I'll just hit the highlights here. The syllabus is a really lengthy document. It's nice that we have now broken it up into sections, and there are a lot of required information that you will see in the Getting Started module. So that all used to be a part of the syllabus, but now it isn't. But this starts with the most recent COVID pronouncements from UC. And then we have links that take you to the various sections of the syllabus. So you can do that if you want to, or you can just scroll through. Again, that's a repeat of my instructor information and the communication expectation that I just stated to you in the video. The course overview. English Comp is a writing-centered course, and it is a very writing-intensive course. And you are doing this in 7 weeks. I have spare hair. You're doing this in 7 weeks. You're doing 15 weeks worth of work in 7 weeks. So it is going to be a very, very challenging course. And that means that you have to be an extremely motivated student to be successful in this course, because you're doing the same amount of work that is done in a full length semester. So it's good to be aware of that, and good to, hopefully you're very motivated and you'll be successful in this course. The purpose here is to emphasize critical reading, writing, and textual analysis, with a particular focus on argument and research-based writing. And you'll see as we look at the modules that we actually spend more time, not much more time, but we spend a little bit more time working on the research argument essay, because that is you learn so many skills doing that essay and working on that assignment unit. So, this is a super duper heavy duty, important writing unit. So let's look at the course learning outcomes. These are the new ones that are adapted by the English department. Upon completion of this course, your student should be able to analyze rhetorical situations by examining audience, purpose, and context, compose multiple genres for a variety of audiences and purposes, using sources as a foundation for writing in most projects, and adopting appropriate composing processes and conventions. Use inquiry-based research practices to identify potential gaps, conflicts, or new ideas in an existing conversation about a topic. Locate, evaluate, and synthesize source material appropriate to research inquiry that reflects a range of perspectives. And lastly, articulate what they know about reading, research, and writing processes, and how they can apply that knowledge in various contexts. And all of the units that we do address all of these course learning outcomes. So it's up to you to apply yourselves and to make sure that you're successful in achieving these outcomes as a writer. This is an asynchronous online class, but nonetheless, you're expected to show up online multiple times per week. Our weeks will be running Wednesday to Wednesday, with the main writing assignments due on Wednesday mornings. So that gives you a whole weekend to work on a writing project. So hopefully that's not objectionable to you. I'm thinking, well, students would much rather have their weekends to themselves, but I know that many of you will be working, and the only time that you have to work on these assignments are the weekends or in the evenings. So they are due Wednesday morning. You can, of course, submit prior to the due date. I just won't do any kind of grading until after that due date. So yeah, you're expected to check into Canvas. I would say just make it a habit to check in daily and just take a look, make sure there are no new announcements, you're not missing anything, in case I've changed any kind of grade due dates, which I don't think I will do. Most of the due dates are Wednesdays. There are occasional Friday evening or Saturday evening due dates, depending on the assignments, but those aren't for major writing assignments. Those are just for peer review or a quiz or a journal reflection. So let's come down here to materials and technology. We will be using an ebook as our course text, and that's available through the campus bookstore. You could also purchase or rent online through Amazon, Macmillan, or some other retailer. You could also elect to get a physical copy that's used or an earlier edition. This particular text was written first in 2019, so I think there are only 2 editions that are currently available in print, but they can be considerably cheaper than renting an ebook. So that's really up to you. I will list the assignments by chapter and section numbers, not by pages, because we are using e-text, and usually we don't have page numbers associated with that stuff. So here is the publishing information, and there is a link to the Macmillan Student Store, as well as a link to Amazon's ebook. I suggest getting the Macmillan version, and that's the one that the campus bookstore will have available for you. The Amazon one, it's for the Amazon Kindle. If you're a Kindle reader, by all means do it, but I think the Macmillan setup looks a little bit better. I started out with my full semester English 1001 course using a Kindle version of the book, and I don't like how it's set up. I don't like how it navigates. The Macmillan version is much, much better. So I highly suggest the Macmillan version. Or if you want to have a print book, because, you know, I'm a dinosaur and I have the print book as well. So other resources, including videos, websites, and learning materials, will be available in each of the weekly modules on our Canvas course page. Of course, because this is an online web class, you'll be expected to use Canvas. You should also be familiar with using Zoom if you need to come in for a virtual office hour or an appointment. This software, called No Red Ink, is an online grammar instruction software. You're welcome to use it, but I'm not going to do any assignments for it because we only have 7 weeks and your time is precious. So I will probably eliminate that from the syllabus, but it's there if you want to use it. If you need some grammar review, by all means, you can set up a free account and do the exercises that way. And then lastly, you will need to use a word processing software like Microsoft Word or Google Docs, and be able to upload your documents to the course page. And if you want to use any kind of editing software like Grammarly, you can use it, but again, it's not required. And all of these apps are free. I also recommend that you download the Canvas student app to your smart devices. They can be very helpful when you're out and about, just to make sure that you're not missing something, and you can keep track of your grades that way. And yeah, so it's a great way to be able to manage things. I have both the student and the instructor version on my phone, and I do check in from time to time. So it's just handy to have when you're on the go, especially. So you'll need to know how to use Canvas and how to navigate through Canvas. I think in the Getting Started module, there are probably links to a bunch of Canvas tutorials, and every once in a while I will post a video tutorial. If there's a skill that you need to use as part of an assignment, I'm going to assign you to watch those tutorials. So they're helpful. And then, oh, you don't need to use Achieve technology. I need to fix that. Need to know how to create files and upload them, save files as PDFs. You need to know how to use Zoom. I'm not going to read through all of these. And then assessment and activities. So with English composition, you're not going to get an F if you fail the class. I think, although we see it there, but usually it's just NP, which is non-passing. So in order for you to progress to the next level of the required English courses, the intermediate composition course, English 2089, you need to pass this class with at least a C-. If not, then you will have to take the class again. And incompletes are only given in special circumstances, and requires a lot of work between the student and the instructor, as well as advising contracts are filed, and it's a lot of paperwork, and it's quite a headache. But we do live in the time of pandemic. We're still dealing with it. So I know that life gets in the way and sometimes things happen. People get sick. So, you know, that's why we have these incompletes. If for whatever reason you just disappear from class, you don't complete the work or submit a portfolio that's incomplete, or has work that I've never seen before, you'll get an F, or you might have a UW, which is an unofficial withdrawal, which eventually becomes an F. So try not to ghost on me. If you're struggling and you're just having trouble keeping up because of the pace of the class, I understand, and it's okay. You can withdraw, and we'll go over those dates in a minute. So the course schedule, I don't have one typed up yet, but if you scroll down to the bottom of the syllabus page, you will see when all the assignments are due. I do have them all set up, I think. And the first one is the introductory discussion board post, which will be due on Thursday the 14th. And here's the grading criteria. So I do use weighted grades. All rough drafts and peer reviews are factored into the final weighted percentage of each of the major papers for each unit. So if you fail to submit a draft or you fail to do your peer review, that weighted essay grade will be diminished by 5%. So try to get everything in and done. Unit 1 is our rhetorical analysis unit, and that will be worth 20% of the grade. The next unit is the synthesis essay, which is 20% of the grade. Unit 3, which lasts 3 weeks long. So units 1 and 2, this is week 1 and 2, this is week 3 and 4. And then unit 3 is weeks 5, 6, and 7, taking us through the end of the semester, is the research argument essay with a paper proposal and annotated bibliography. So that is actually worth 40% of your grade. It's almost half of your grade. And that's just because there are a lot of associated assignments that go along with this research argument essay. And we'll discuss more of that further on. And then there's an end of course portfolio that has some reflective writing in it, which is worth 10%. The final 10% is made up of discussions and quizzes, any other kind of random assignments. That will be a 10%, the last 10%. Late work, because this course is paced very quickly and the way that the assignments are scaffolded, you really cannot afford to have your work handed in late. There are some midweek due dates for readings, quizzes, and discussions, and the written drafts and revisions will be due on Wednesday mornings. I know that life happens, so if something pops up, just communicate with me via email and we will make arrangements, and I will try my best to accommodate your needs. But it's really, really important not to get your work in late, because it will just snowball and you will just feel like you're plowed under. Revisions, as I said above, they need to be submitted, rough drafts and revisions and so on and so forth. Online course participation policy, again, you're expected to sign in and to participate. And that's just based on if you ghost or if you tend to, or if you withdraw. I have to file paperwork that says your last date of participation. So these things all count towards participation. Here is the grading scale. I need to edit this. And then dates and deadlines for the second half session. So we start on the 13th. The last day of classes is December 4th. You will notice this end of course portfolio with reflective writing, it's not really asking for much that's new. So that's actually due during finals week. We don't have a final. It doesn't count as a final. It's just the final portion of your grade, the final 10% of your grade. So that will be due December 8th. And you'll see that due date down below. And then the semester ends Saturday, December 11th. The last day to withdraw is October 19th, which is 6 days after the start of the semester. So you have to make your mind up really quickly. Or last day to drop. The last day to withdraw is November 19th. Sorry about that. And then we have the holidays. We have the Veterans Day holiday on November 11th, and then we have our Thanksgiving weekend holiday, which is Thursday, November 25th through Sunday, November 28th. And then again, you see the list of the assignments. I'm trying not to overload you with assignments. I had the first module set up with more assignments, but I actually dropped a quiz because I thought, no, that's just too much work to do in a week. You know, you have a lot of reading to start off with. So if we click on modules, you'll see I have it set up. Here's the getting started module. And this is my instructor view, so you won't see some of this stuff. But then there's the student Canvas tutorials. If you need any kind of tech help, there's information here. Then policies pertaining to UC Claremont, Claremont tutoring and academic support services, student accessibility, library support, and student support services. So all of that important information for students is there in the Getting Started module. Then I have it broken down. I have a unit with overview and materials, and then we have weekly modules. You'll see that, and if you click on the little arrow, it'll collapse and expand each of the modules for you, and then if you click on each of these, it will take you to the correct page. And I'll do a separate weekly overview each week. Second unit is synthesis. Again, we have weeks 3, week 4. And then the research argument unit is unit 3 with an overview. And then that'll be week 5, week 6, and week 7. And then we have this final, which is the portfolio and reflective writing. And that's due on December 8th. And you will see that some of these are actually locked. I may unlock them after the first day. I just don't want you to get overwhelmed by looking at everything. But I know that if you're anything like me, you like to plan and you want to have things plotted out and planned so that you can arrange your life around this 7-week schedule. So I may unlock those now that I've gotten almost everything posted. There may be some things added to the later weeks as I look through, but I think I have pretty much everything up. So that's the modules tab. If you if you click on assignments, it just breaks them up into the different units. So we have discussion, which is 10% of your total. That includes quizzes and a journal. There might be another journal that pops up, I'm not sure. Then we start with rhetorical analysis. Again, that's 20% of your grade. And that includes, you won't see peer review in here, but it does include the peer review as well as the rough draft. This should be up there because this is week 1 and week 2. Yeah, I have to fix some numbering here. Okay, and then research argument. Oh, you know what? Yeah, that has to do with weekly things. I'm sorry, I'm talking to myself. You're probably like, well, this woman is crazy. So research argument is 40% of total, and then the final, again, is 10% of the total. Then if you want to click on the individual tabs, you will find the discussions. Right now, we only have this one discussion that I have up. I may have others that pop up depending on how we're doing. Then the quizzes, Right now, there's only 2 quizzes that will probably stay that way. And then if you click on grades, you'll be able to see your grades. Let me put this in student view so so you see what you're looking at, right? You click on grades, it will show you everything that you've done, what your score is out of how many, and then probably calculates your GPA according to the weighting. If you click on here, you will see the people in the course. We don't have a lot of people. And then there's a link for Zoom, a link for files. If for some reason you're trying to locate a file that sometimes it's easier just to come through here. You're like, I know I've seen this somewhere. You can look in the files. And if you click on a folder, sometimes, you know, some assignments, other readings will come up. And then My Media. If you have any kind of recordings that you do, that will show up in My Media on Canvas. But I think that is pretty much it. And I'll leave the student. Well, actually, I'll come to the student view here. So in the student view, you will see a to-do list over on the right-hand side. Should list everything chronologically. So we have an announcement. You'll see a little bullhorn icon. That means there's an announcement. Any little text bubbles is a discussion. And then if you see a paper with a pencil, that means it's a written assignment. A little rocket ship is a quiz. And it's always important to go into the module. These are helpful, but this isn't everything, right? These are just little reminders for you. So it's always important to go into the modules to make sure that you're doing all the assignments that you're supposed to do. And you click and you get the readings and you see the overview. So yeah, that is that. Leave the student view. And so if you have any questions about how the course is arranged, if anything's just confusing to you, I spend lots of time in Canvas moving things around and arranging things. So it's sometimes hard for me to remember that as a student, it may be off, you know, it may be confusing. I know what I want to do within the course and I know what things make sense, but from a student perspective, it may not always make sense. So again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me, send me an email and just say, you know, I'm really confused. Can you help me with this? Or point me to a resource that can help me. I'm more than happy to do that. I am here to make sure that you're successful in this course. That is my main goal, is to make sure that you are successful, that you pass this class and that you can move on and achieve your other goals. So whatever I can do to help you, I'm happy to do. Sometimes there's just stuff that's out of my control, but anyway, that is our course in a probably rather large nutshell. Thank you for hanging in there with me and going through this crazy ride. And look for, I'm going to do a unit overview that will explain our first unit. And then I will also be posting a weekly overview, which will hopefully be much shorter than this course overview. I know it's a lot of information to deal with right at the very start, and you'll probably feel overwhelmed. So just take a deep breath. And if you need to, take a break and then come back. It'll still be here. It's not going anywhere. All right, everybody. Have a great time. Bye.